The downtown café bustled with morning life, the steady rain outside painting the windows in streaks of silver. Inside, the comforting scent of fresh coffee swirled with the earthy aroma of wet pavement. People chatted softly, cups clinked, and steam hissed from the espresso machine. Then the door creaked open, letting in a gust of wind and a man in his early 50s. His coat clung to him, soaked through, his shoes leaving faint watermarks behind. He looked tired, not just from the rain, but from something deeper. His eyes, shadowed and worn, scanned the café before settling on the counter. He stepped forward and softly asked for a black coffee. His voice trembled. As the barista rang up the order, the man reached into his pockets left, then right, then back again. Panic flickered in his eyes. He swallowed hard. I must have left my wallet at home, he murmured, his voice raw with embarrassment. If it's all right, I just need to sit until the rain stops. The barista raised an eyebrow, folding his arms with a smug grin. This isn't a shelter, he said loudly, drawing the attention of nearby customers. No pay, no stay. Simple as that. The man's face turned pale. He took a step back, shrinking into himself. A soft ripple of laughter came from a nearby table where a few well-dressed customers sat, sipping lattes. Imagine, one said, smirking, showing up to a cafe with no money, probably looking for pity points. Another added. The man turned toward the door, shoulders hunched under the weight of humiliation. From across the room, Emma, 29-year-old waitress with auburn hair pulled into a loose ponytail, watched. Her hazel eyes, usually warm, narrowed with quiet fury. She wove through tables, balancing a tray, and set it down with purpose. Reaching into her uniform pocket, she pulled out a crumpled $5 bill and laid it firmly on the counter. That's enough, she said, her voice low but clear. The barista blinked. Emma, what are you doing? I'm covering his coffee, she replied, not out of pity, because I've been there. Another chuckle from the corner. A waitress trying to play the hero. Someone jeered. Hope he tips her with wisdom. Emma stood tall, turning to face the room. Kindness isn't a transaction, she said calmly. And if your first instinct is to mock someone in need, that says more about you than him. Silence fell. The mood had shifted. She turned to the man, offered a small smile. Please, have a seat. I'll bring your coffee. His eyes shimmered. He nodded, moved wordlessly to a corner table. Rain traced the glass behind him, but he was safe, now seen, and human. Later, Emma finished her shift in silence. The mocking had stopped, but so had conversation. Her co-workers avoided her. That night, her manager called her into the office. The air inside was cold, heavy with bleach and old coffee. Emma, he said sharply, you embarrass the staff. This is a business, not your charity. I paid for it, she replied calmly. That's not the point, he snapped. You made people uncomfortable. Don't do it again. Back in the kitchen, whispers followed her. Must be nice, playing the savior, someone murmured. Emma didn't flinch. She signed out, grabbed her coat, and stepped into the night. The city was slick and dark, but her steps were steady at home. Her sister Lily lay curled on the couch under a thin blanket, coughing softly. Emma reheated porridge, added salt, and handed it to her with a soft smile. She checked her wallet. $3, one subway token, and a faded photo of their mum. Not much, but she felt no regret. She remembered being 17, clutching her mother's hand in a crowded market when she collapsed. Everyone passed by, except for one old woman who knelt beside her. That moment, that stranger's kindness, it became a promise. 4 days passed. Then, one morning, as Emma cleared tables, the café door opened. A tall man walked in, elegant in a dark suit. His shoes gleamed. His hair was neatly combed. But his eyes, those eyes were familiar. He walked to the same table by the window. The same one. Emma's heart skipped. She approached, unsure. Before she could speak, he looked up. "I'm not here to order," he said. "Just one question. Why did you help me?" She paused. "Because I couldn't stand to see someone made to feel small." They spoke for a long time about books, music, loneliness, hope. He didn't try to impress. She didn't try to pretend. Something between them felt real, quiet, and strange. At the end, he thanked her and left. A week later, a heavy envelope arrived with her name on it. Inside, an invitation to the most prestigious hotel in the city. Emma nearly didn't go, but something pulled her there. In a private lounge high above the skyline, she saw him again. But this time, he wasn't hiding. No disguise, no mystery. He told her the truth. He was Charles H. Evelyn, a billionaire, a philanthropist, a man who had lost trust, lost faith, and had begun traveling anonymously, not to be humbled, but to see who still had humanity. "You didn't know me," he said. "You had nothing to gain, but you helped me anyway." Emma's voice trembled. "Was it a test?" "No," he replied. "It was a moment, and you changed it." She left that meeting shaken, not because she was deceived, but because she realized her quiet choice had mattered deeply. A few days later, another note, an invitation to join him on a trip. No promises, no grand offer, just time, conversation, and something unspoken. Emma went. She found herself not in mansions, but in shelters, orphanages, food pantries. She watched Charles silent, attentive, generous, without spectacle. And slowly, she came to see him not as a man of wealth, but of depth. One night, under the stars in Quebec, he said, "I don't need someone to love me. I need someone who understands why I care." Emma looked at him and said, "I don't know everything about you, but I've never felt more like myself than I do with you." They didn't kiss, they didn't declare love, but something real passed between them, trust, recognition. 3 months later, she returned home, different, grounded, stronger. Charles offered to create a foundation in her name. She declined. "I want to build something on my own," she said. "Not because I don't value what you're offering, but because someone once believed in me enough to let me believe in myself." Charles smiled. "You already have." Years passed, and then, one rainy morning, across the street from that very first café, stood a new sign. The first cup. The space had been reborn. Warm light, soft music, shelves of books, and etched beneath the glass, "No one should have to earn kindness." The first cup was free. The second, if you could, was for someone else. An older man walked in, drenched and uncertain. A young barista hesitated, but Emma appeared, calm and steady. "It's all right," she said. "He's welcome here." Later that day, she stood with a microphone in hand and told the story. "I didn't know who he was. I just saw someone being made small, and I couldn't look away." The room fell silent. That $5 cup changed everything. Not because he became someone to me, but because he reminded me of who I am. She raised her cup. "This place isn't about coffee. It's about showing up when no one else does. And somewhere, outside in the rain, Charles stood watching through the window. He didn't come in. He didn't need to. She saw him. He saw her. That was enough. And inside, the cafe served its next guest. One kind gesture at a time.